Hi, we're here with Karl Thomas from RiverQuest. RiverQuest does a lot of different environmental education programs, but you're pretty unique. Can you tell us a little bit about your program?
Absolutely. RiverQuest, and maybe known to many people across the state, and definitely in Western Pennsylvania, as Pittsburgh Voyager. We changed our name just last year, and what we do the same work, and that work is very unique in terms of education on the rivers of our region. We look at the rivers as a phenomenal place for students as well as the public to learn about the environment, not just the river ecology, but also humans' connectivity to that system, as well as the overall environment that we live in.
Well, you actually take groups and kids and all sorts of folks out on the river. It's sort of really hands-on kind of environmental learning about the river.
What's really unique about what RiverQuest does is that we don't just teach about the river or teach about the river from the river bank, but we actually take students, we take school classes and the public, groups, from church groups to politicians to VIPs and CEOs out on the river on our fleet of vessels and use the river and our boats as a context for learning. The boats are really floating laboratories and classrooms. And we have 3 boats in our fleet. We have a 44-foot houseboat named Scout that used to serve in the Corps of Engineers. We have a 78-foot retired naval vessel named Discovery. And we're bringing to Pittsburgh and to really the United States one of the greenest commercial passenger vessels in the world called Explorer that should be making its way to Pittsburgh in the next few months. We hope it'll be in service for the calendar year 2008.
What do you think if you're talking to kids, what do you think the most surprising things they learn about the river are? I mean, what sort of gets their interest?
I think one of the things that is really still a myth in the region is that the rivers are dirty and dead, and that it's a dangerous place to be. Both dangerous in terms of their own safety, so a safety issue. The kids realize they can actually have a good time on the river and they can enjoy it, and it's a safe place to be. But secondarily, and I think primarily, is the mission of RiverQuest is for them to understand that this place, this water body, is a living system and it's full of life. And I think that's where kids really get excited because we physically bring life onto the boat through plankton trawls and catching macroinvertebrates with sediment sampling and looking at the wildlife and understanding the whole food chain and beginning to make the connections between the life and health of this river system and the fact that we drink out of this river. This is where our drinking water supply comes from. The health of the ecosystem that's here is connected to our own health and our ability to enjoy the river as a safe place for generations to come.
About how many kids do you get through your programs, and give us an idea of what the size of the program is? You said you have 3 boats right now, a 4th is on the way.
Yeah, actually we had 3 boats and we built a 4th and we decommissioned one of the 3. So we still have 3 vessels. We've been doing programs since 1995. In that time we've had over 80,000 people on board our boats and over 65,000 students doing formal education programming. So we put through about 6,000 kids a year, and with a new boat arriving next year, we're looking at upping that to over 10,000 a year. The capacity of the new boat over doubles our overall fleet capacity. Explorer's a green engineered boat. Overall capacity of 150 people, but we've really modeled to be 90 formal education students. So there's room for laboratories and microscopes, sampling stations, etc.
How important do you think it is for people to get involved with their local watershed groups and taking care of their watersheds?
One of the things that we do as RiverQuest is we see ourselves as a regional program, and that's Western Pennsylvania now, but part of our name change is actually taking that outside of Pennsylvania, really seeing the Ohio River watershed and as not just a Pennsylvania watershed issue, it's 6 states that are part of that. And watersheds are really the best way for people to understand, to be able to impact their environment in a local community, because everyone lives in a watershed. One of the questions we ask sometimes is, so who lives in a watershed? Raise your hand. And when people will raise their hand, are you dead? I mean, because they won't realize watersheds are everywhere. Every piece of land is part of a watershed, and you can break watersheds down to a small enough geographic surface area where they'll know the name of the creek. They know where that road crosses over the water that they may never have looked at before. They realize that their local school may have an illegal dump site behind it that is impacting the quality of life and the opportunities for the students, the safety of students, the quality of water. And so I think that's one of our goals as RiverQuest serves and educates people all over the region to get them connected in a local watershed association where they can volunteer and give money and get their students and their families. Really, we see our program is kind of whole family programming. It's intergenerational. generational. It's formal school programming, and then the kids come back excited about what they've learned and say, Mom and Dad, hey, the rivers are alive, or you were wrong, or Grandpa needs to talk to me because I'm going to tell him that the rivers are actually safe and a lot of fun, and his story of them being dead is not true anymore. And so Watersheds Association is a place where that can happen.
Well, that's great. Good luck.
How you doing?
Thanks for doing all the work that you do.
Thank you.